So today we're going to take a look at how to install console mode into Mr. Pi, SuperStation One, or a regular Mr. even. It's going to be a very basic tutorial on how to get started and how to get going. We're going to have this tested on a PVM and how it looks and works, and as well as getting the RetroAchievements working on console mode. All right, let's get started. So it'll work on a SuperStation One or a regular Mr. Pi. I believe it also will work on a regular Mr., but I don't have one on hand to test. And you're gonna need a micro SD card of a decent size. I have a 512 here, but I think 128 should work. 64 gigs is cutting it a bit too close, so I recommend 128 gig or above. Okay, the first thing we need is to download this SD card installer from Retro Remake. Just click here for the latest one. Yep, download that and unzip the contents. And the next thing you need is Balena Etcher or Rufus, something to flash the image onto your SD card. So once the SD card image is downloaded, you extract it, and once it's done, you should have a disk image like this, and then you fire up Etcher or Rufus, and then you pick that image to flash, and then the target is your SD card. Select it and flash. It'll give you a warning if your SD card is big, but just make sure that this is the intended card. All right, we're gonna let this run and check back when it's ready. So while the etcher is flashing the SD card, let's take a look at the SuperStation One. If you want to connect it to the CRT, make sure you use the component, or like I have the Saturn SCART port. You don't have to use the CRT, but the SuperStation One with the CRT or PVM looks really good. Okay, looks like Etcher has successfully flashed the SD card. Let's take it out and put it in the SuperStation One. So once you put the SD card in the SuperStation One, it should be installing all the files. So just let it run and we'll check back when it's done. Okay, so once you have the SD card installed on the SuperStation One, you'll get console mode 1.1.1, and from here let's get a few setting things set. First, you want to get your network working, and I'm using a controller with a dongle right now. So, but if you want to use Bluetooth, get your controller connected to Bluetooth. Having a keyboard will help as well. Connect the keyboard, and once those things are set, we'll go to the next step. Okay, the first thing you'll notice is that the time is correct now, and you have a OTA download that you can get from system, and then update console mode 1.1.3 is available, and you can just update directly like this. So now that we're updated to the latest firmware, you can see that I have the SuperStation One connected to my PVM, but it's not showing correctly yet. So what we do is we need to turn CRT mode on. So you do that by press menu button and press right twice, and you'll see that CRT mode is off currently, and if you press right one more time, it should turn on. And as you can see, the PVM is picking up the signal. Once CRT mode is on, you're going to want to play around with some of the resolutions and game views to see which one suits you the best. But what what we can do right now, because it's in 240p, I find that 480i looks great on my PVM. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, 480i looks much better for my PVM. Okay, as you can see that after turning on CRT mode, the HDMI out looks a little bit blurry. That's because CRT mode is on. So I'm going to turn it off for now. Console mode should reload, and then we should be back to nice and high def. Okay, so next step is to put some games onto the SD card. Well, you can take out the SD card and just manually load it up on your computer, but I recommend going this route. You get the IP address of your SuperStation One by going into settings, sound and connectivity, and so this will be your IP address. And once you have it, download FileZilla. It's an FTP client. It should look like something like this. You put in your IP address. Username is root. Password is 1. Port, you can leave it blank or just put 21. And then you connect. So what this does is it connects to your SuperStation One, and you have access to the SD card without having to take it out each time. And I prepare some games to copy over. All right, let's take a look. So the system names already populated. So you just look for your systems and then just add some games. I just have these so we can quickly test. Okay, so now the games are FTP'd over to the SD card. We're going to settings, game library, and rebuild game database. This will build your game library, and let's take a look if they're there. Okay, see the games that we put on the SD card are all there, so that's good, but there's no artwork yet. So this is what we do. We go to game library, scrape artwork, and we're gonna leave it at the default, which is the libretro database. And so the 3 systems, you can add them all, but it'll take too long if there's a lot of games that you added. So for our case, well, we just added 3 systems. So I'm not sure. Looks like Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive are both added. I'm not sure which one will scrape, so we're gonna just select both. And then we have the NES and the Super NES. So let's just scrape those 4 systems. And as you can see, it's pulling the box art and background images from libretro's database. It might take a while, so we'll check back when it's done. Okay, it looks like scrape is complete. It's asking if you want to optimize artwork now or just finish. I think optimize artwork. Oh, I just skipped it, but I think it makes the images smaller sized. But anyway, we didn't get to do that. That's fine. So let's take a look at those systems. Oh. Okay, so this is from my M.2 bay. This is from my previous build. But so the one we just put in is called Sega Mega Drive. So let's take a look. Yeah, looks like the artwork are there. And Super Nintendo, let's take a look. All right. And Nintendo. So I had these libraries in there before, in the M.2 bay. So it looks like they merged together. But anyway, it should still be the same. It looks like the games are good to go. And so the next step is to put retro achievements on there. So you could manually download all the retro achievement cores and manually put them in your SuperStation build, or you can just use Sage 2050's script. I find it very useful that it'll install all the RA cores and it doesn't put it in your regular folder, and the files are all and the cores are all placed under RA cores, and yeah, it completely separates these cores from your regular setup. So I highly recommend using his script. So what you do is you download this Mr. RA .sh and just FTP it over to script. So it's under media, fat, scripts. So once you have that script, go to settings, developer tools, scripts and CD, and load script. Mr. RA. It's not there. You might have to reboot. Okay, I just gave it a reboot. It should be there now. Let's take a look. Yep, Mr. RA is right here. Okay, for this next part, you're going to want to use a keyboard, and also if you are connected to CRT and the CRT mode is on, I recommend you turn it off for now. All right, let's run this script. Okay, it's downloading all the RA cores for you. Okay, and this is the convenient part. Usually you're going to have to create this file yourself, but with this script, you just basically enter some commands like, yes, I want to enter them now. Username, enter your username of your Retro Achievements account. And your password. I can enter it, it's not going to show. Okay, and those credentials are saved to retroachievements.cfg. You can open that on your SD card to take a look if you like. But this script does it all for you, and download all the cores, and then we're going to reboot now. Yes. Okay, with our RA cores installed, let's take a look and see if we can get a Retro Achievements pop-up. Let's go to NES. So you go to the system and you press select. And you have this core override menu, and it looks like it found the Mr. RA core. So what we're going to do is we select it and press OK. And it'll say RA enabled. All right, let's test it and see if it works. Let's test Bomberman. All right, perfect. It looks like it's working perfectly. So that's how you set Retro Achievements to work. Okay, there you have it. So we have console mode installed, and we have RetroAchievements working. There are a lot more customizations that's possible, and Taki is still working on improving console mode. And there's a lot more new features coming. Even things like background music and navigation sounds, and I believe theme is also coming. And even with some tinkering, you can create some user customized top level categories. Like I made this hardcore retro achievements folder, which has all 5 hardcore cores that's available on retro achievements right now. The other cores like 32X, Sega CD, Sega Saturn, TurboGrafx, they all do have retro achievements, but they're still soft core, and I'm sure in the near future they might become hardcore as well. And you can even make it your own personal profile of sorts of systems that you like, or maybe you want to customize, let's say, a translations folder, which I've done here. And I haven't even touched on light guns. I haven't even touched on using Wii remote to play light gun games. So if you're interested in a tutorial on light guns and or using Wii remotes to use as a light gun, please comment below and let me know. Until then, I hope you find this video helpful, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.